Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. Well, in American history, only a handful of presidents have followed in their father's footsteps to the White House. The first time this happened was early on in the nation's history, as a young Northerner took the job once held by his father, who, by the way, also happened to be one of our nation's founding fathers. So in this episode, let's explore the narrative of the sixth president of the United States from the state of Massachusetts and the son of the nation's second president, John Adams, a man by the name of John Quincy Adams. The younger Adams was born several years before the first shots of the American Revolution were fired in Massachusetts in the year 1767. Sources indicate that young John Quincy witnessed the Battle of Bunker Hill in New England as a young boy, and he would eventually travel with his father to the Old World during the war and in the years immediately thereafter. Now, he would also join his father in the political sphere as a young man, and during the same time, he would marry his wife Louisa, with whom he stayed with for life, but had rather a stormy marriage. His international travels with his father laid the foundation for him to become a shrewd and skilled Secretary of State during the presidency of his ally James Monroe, with whom the second Adams was vital in helping to formulate the Monroe Doctrine. Now, as Secretary of State, John Quincy Adams would then be a shoo-in for the presidency, and sure enough, he would win the election of 1824. But his election was marred with controversy. Now, many, including his opponent whom he defeated, Andrew Jackson, alleged that foul play was afoot. Jackson won the popular vote and finished ahead of Adams in the electoral votes, but none of the candidates achieved a majority. Now, in the 19th century runoff of sorts, as this would become, the House of Representatives made the final decision, and sure enough, the House chose Adams over Jackson. Jackson claimed a, quote, corrupt bargain had taken place. Well, regardless of the truth of the scandal allegations, Adams served as president for only one term, just like his father, and could not garner support for a second, most likely due to the controversy surrounding his initial election. Despite this, Adams led an accomplished presidency. He helped to lead the nation into the Industrial Revolution with the creation of numerous highways and an almost 200-mile-long canal. Now, in 1828, Adams lost to the popular Jackson, but his political career was far from over, as he then joined the House of Representatives. During his near 2 decades in the House, he would then become a staunch abolitionist, fighting against the institution of slavery as the country itself was becoming more deeply divided over the issue. Now we fast forward at last to 1848, where Adams succumbed to a stroke while in Congress and died in Washington, D.C. at the age of 70. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.